there's no other bigger duty than her for me. Even though she didn't recognize him, he showed her love and he showed her hope. One of the most beautiful things about my parents is my mom at a very young age told me, my name is Nita. I made it Nea because I fell in love with this man here. He was an American-born confused baby. So 25 years ago, and I was confused, he was confused, we all were confused. So we together, we said, you know what, what's in the name? So we changed it. So in a retrospect, my parents, my biggest boon is my mom and my dad. My dad is uneducated, he only went to 6th standard. He took care of a deaf and dumb sister, his mother, and another sister. He was the sole bread earner at the age of 12. My grandfather died of tuberculosis. He knew English, so he left a property for him. But he was less than her age, 5 years old. They sent him to jail, boarding school. And when he failed one test, they said, "Bahut pad liya jaake, maa ka theek karo." They lived in a place called Ungurpet. It's a small street. My mom used to describe the street as just one street, 5 houses, and they were the saukars. Because my grandparents were uneducated, my parents, women were not allowed to educate. My father was named Bhikamchandji because Bhik mang ke Bhagwan se liya hua male purush. My grandmother had 7 kids, only 1 son survived. So I grew up in a household where I had a deaf and dumb aunt and another aunt, and my father, the 2 things which really strike me, never said we didn't have enough. They said we have everything. We have it right here in this room. At one point, I have 3 older brothers. I have a wonderful extended family. We lived 18 people in a small house, smaller than this. We never had any issues. We had nothing. But most importantly, I have gratitude, and why I invited you here, my mom fought for my education. The whole society was against me getting educated because I was a Marwari girl. So my father and mother were very smart. They named me Nita because I could blend in with Brahmins called Nita. No one knew I was a Marwari for the longest time. And then when I was in 11th grade, the whole society comes to my house and says, how is she not married? Usko to abhi tak shaadi karna chahiye. Many times I remember sitting there where they said, Bikam, tu kitna pagal hai? Ladki padegi tu kya karega? Tera naam kharab ho jayega. My father was like, I don't know much, but wo achhi pad rahi hai, usko kyun kam kare? Usko padne do. Koi farak nahi, meri beti hai, main sambhalunga. Then I did my bachelor's and I did my master's in architecture. My mom was so joyed. Every time I went into a university, she was overjoyed. And my father was such a good man. He knew my mom's desire to study. So without his in-laws, my mother-in-law would not allow it. In the night, my mom studied, finished her high school, finished her bachelor's, and finished her master's without my mother-in-law knowing. My grandmother, my lovely grandmother. Because in a way, my father was very learned. He knew what's right, what's wrong. He made us study the whole night. He'd get up at 3 o'clock and do all his work. So she had no issues with her in-laws. They lived a beautiful life. And then when she had 2 kids, she decided, unke bachon ko padhai chahiye. They left a village, came to Chennai. And they lived learning from someone in one apartment. And then with them, they extended their love. I have Amarchandji's granddaughter, my cousin here. Everybody loved my mom. She used to say, my name is Sajjan. Sajjan means good. I'm going to be good. And she always says one thing. I always used to ask, Mom, what is my architecture going to do for me? What if I never do anything? She said, तेरे से कोई ये 2 चीज नहीं ले सकते. तेरा faith और तेरा पढ़ाई. तेरे अंदर है. कोई गिल्ट नहीं. And then I met him. He wanted an educated family. And there's the story that some person who did not wear glasses did that Keva Mangal and said we are completely palatable and compatible. वो तो स्वर्ग लोग चला गया. जाके पूछना पड़ेगा कि क्या Keva मिलाया. But I have a beautiful journey. I didn't know I would survive. I have these 3 beautiful blessings here. With them in the car, I broke all my arm and I was crying. And then Gurudev sent me to Chinmaya Mission. That Guruji there gave me the blessing. He said something which stayed with me. He says, I said, I'm a good person, like my mom says. I shouldn't happen. I never told a lie. This should not happen to me. How am I supposed to raise 3 kids under 5? He says, in life, what you get, you don't have a choice, but what you do with it, you have a choice. But more than that, Chinmaya Mission has become an extended family. I teach there. I'm very proud to teach Gita, Bhagavad Gita. I'm very honored to be a part of that family which has shown me love. I have so many of you friends here. I call Rajaji my bhaiya. There's a reason for that, because they have just showered love to me. Now, I say all this, I wanted you to wear pink and yellow, because the 2 things happened when my mom passed this February. When I asked my dad, should I come? He says, Teri duty tere bachon ke saath hai, samban mein aana. And then I'm like, how does he know? Unko naukar banne se zyada kuch aata hi nahi tha. Then he says, meri duty hai, main yahan wait karunga, tu aa ja. But he passed before I came. The love was so strong. But one of the things he said, I was very like, Mom, beg, it's not fair. Abe ka shadi dekhte, ye karte, mujhe kitne questions puchne hain. And he said, kitna devi maa tere, itna de diya bahut hai. Usse karna, tera life par ho jayega. And then he passed in May, and so here I'm waiting for you, Babu sir to come, so that we can start. The man who said yes for my marriage is my father-in-law who's walking in. I have a lot of respect for him, because in a many ways when I've had a hard time, he has subtle hints he tells me. Tu kar rahi hai na? Kabhi kabhi hard lagega, but theek ho jayega. Very subtle, the Marwari way of not talking, but showing love in a different fashion. Do I understand his love? No. I wish he would love like my father, but it doesn't happen. But 2 things I'm going to do a prayer of all my mom and dad's favorite songs. I have my sons and my wonderful blessings. I call them all my 3 blessings. Without them, I wouldn't be here. They have been my backbone. Without my husband, he's wonderful. He's an ABCD, because he's never said no to Chinmaya Mission. He doesn't care about anything. He's like, okay, she doesn't do anything she doesn't get drunk in a bar, so why do I care? In a lot of ways, him not interfering was the best blessing. By being a silent support like my father, he has helped. And just to say, my mom had pleasure. She finished her master's. She taught so many people languages, education. And I continue. Those of you who don't know, I'm a licensed architect. My mom and dad live here. They've never told me they're proud of me. They've never said anything like that. But to think I know, wo kitchen mein baith ke drawing kar rahi thi, I never knew that I would be an architect. My education value. Today, I educate a lot of black students who don't have opportunity like me. It's become my whole principle. And here's Babusa, so we can start. That's my father-in-law. And I will start after paying respects to him. I want to say 2 things. One, my mom and dad filled my heart with love. So anyone you meet, fill them with love. And the most important, don't take away hope from someone. If you can give hope, please don't take away hope. I think those are the 2 big things which my parents gave me, and I continue. My in-laws have never taken my hope away. They shower love differently. That's